Take our feet nice and wide. Take a big breath in. This is week 3. I'm remembering it's still week 3. Workout 2. Oh, and we have a lot of nice work ahead of us. So take some big deep breaths as you're moving. Just come back to center. Let your ribcage expand. Let your shoulders move. Greet the day. Got some beautiful sunshine coming in my window. And I don't know what the heck is in the air, but I'm sniffling, so sorry. Sorry in advance for any sniffles you're gonna hear. 3, 4. Oh, feels good. Let's reach up. Start waking up the whole body. And across, reach, twist. We have some rotation today. 8, 9, 10. Let's bring our arms up and pull them down. Up, down. 4, 5. Pulling those arms back as you pull them down. Nice. And one more. Good. Hands at your shoulders, and let's circle them out. 3, 6, 8. 2 more. And shake it out. Oops. And don't hit your hand on the bench. There we go. And maybe let's twist a little bit. Just check it in, see what everything feels like this morning. 9, 10. Okay, hands on hips. Show me your attitude. 6. And we'll go into hula hoops. Finding the edges of that stretch. Excuse me. And reverse direction. 3. And let's throw in a couple of figure 8s. And bring your feet a little bit closer if that's more comfortable. Gives you more room to move your hips. And reverse direction. Excellent. 5, 6, 7, 8, coming down to our knees. Let's circle them in opposite directions. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and reverse that direction. Check that you're feeling all the sides of your feet. Good. And then let's plant the ball of one foot in and we'll circle out our ankles. You know the drill. Doesn't change too much. We're going both directions. And switch sides. And reverse. Set our knees in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 2. And let's take those into big hip circles. Up and around. And last 2, and we'll go into butt kicks. Try not to kick your dog. So anything you want to do with your hands, some people do this, some people go side to side, some people do little rowing movements. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's do some softball pitches. So we keep that lower body moving, keep the blood moving, heart working a little bit more. And switch sides. So think about going across your body. Good. Let's bring our heels together and releve up. Let's go for about 10 to 12. Good. And then let's work our ankles. Last thing, point your toes down. We'll do our wiggles in towards the midline. And then we're going to rotate from the hip and lift that inside ankle up to the ceiling. Try bending your knees, see if you get a little bit more rotation that way, but not too much that you're pulling with your thigh, with the top of your thigh. You want your inner thigh doing the work. There you go. And let's switch sides. So find your balance on the other leg or hold on to something, and we'll wiggle. And then from here, rotate from the hip and lift that ankle up. Good. So it's normal for one side to be a little bit easier to rotate than the other. If you notice one side doesn't want to rotate at all, let me know. We'll talk about how to improve that rotation. Ooh, okay. Let's come into a hinge. So I want you supported by your glutes with your abs tight. And hang our arms down. We're going to do 8 eyes, wise, T's, and scarecrows. So 8 eyes, 6, 5, 4. Trying to pull your arms up above your head. 3, 2, 1. Let's take it a little wider to the corners of the room. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your backs are nice and flat. 8 T's. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. Bend your elbows and rotate up. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll your shoulders just a little bit, shimmy them out. Stretch out your wrists. And we'll get going. So our A's are on the floor. I can't read my handwriting. We're going to be doing side plank to side plank. And then we're going to do, I really can't read, weighted drags from a plank or from a hover, your choice. We're switching sides. Let's make some little circles. Make some waves. Check in that your wrists are happy and they want to flex and extend before we get down on them. Good. Okay, so like we did last week, we're going to do our 2 sets of our 2 core exercises. 1 set of our power move, which we're increasing the repetitions on. And then our core group of 6 exercises for building strength. We're going to try to maximize what we can do 1 minute each. And we're just going to go boom, 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 boom with enough time to transition between exercises. So not a formal break. And then we'll have 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes at the end of those 6 exercises before we cycle through them again. I think that worked out a lot better. It also means it's going to be a little bit longer because the single side is going to be 1 minute. Other single side is going to be 1 minute, but I know you can do it. And so As always, adjust as you go. Increase the tension, change your weights, throw the weights away if you don't want to use them, and we'll get stronger. So alternating side planks from elbows. So first we have to find our side plank, right? So let's set up, elbows right under your shoulders. Hands can be any angle you want, because as we rotate up and your feet go to the side, your arm is going to want to move, and that's okay. So side plank to side plank. Let's go for 12 changes. 2. This is 3. Coming all the way up on your side, feet rotating all the way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 more. 11, if you're going slower, don't worry. 12, and come back into child's pose. And check that you've got something heavy to drag. So I have 15 and 25-pound sandbags. I don't suppose anybody else does. So I'm going to use a 12-pound dumbbell. And the key is actually not so much the weight, but the force. So if you try to press whatever weight you have into the floor as you're trying to drag it, you're going to create more friction. More friction means takes more strength to move it, right? So I'm going to start from a hover this first set, and I'll do a plank in the second set. So knees are just an inch off the ground. Feet are a little bit wider, so I'm not rocking side to side as much. I'm going to reach and drag. I'm going to do 10 drags on each side. Try to make your stomach as small as you can. Brace as hard as you can. So you can hear it in my voice. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rock back into child's pose for just a second. Let your back relax. Those drags, people either love them or hate them. Okay, and let's come back and do some plank to side plank, 12 of them again, 6 on each side. Oh, we'll be up off the floor before you know it. There it goes. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, belly's tight, 3, 2, and 1. Take about 10 seconds here. Then I'm going to set up in a plank for our second set of weighted drags. Whew, okay. So if you're doing this from a plank, again, your feet are going to be nice and wide. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7. You don't want to be rocking so much side to side. Maybe little shifts. And rest. Fine. There are people who think those are fun. Like I do. There are people who think it's pointless. So hopefully, well, we only got one more week of them to go. Hopefully you like them. If you really hate them, let me know and they won't reappear. But if you like them, we'll keep them. We'll come back to them eventually. We're going to come up to standing. I need a drink of water. You too can grab a drink of water. we have our split squat jumps. So this week, let's shoot for 8 to 10 on each side. If you, what was I gonna say? If you don't want to come off the ground, you don't have to come off the ground. The idea, just like we did on Tuesday's workout, you can go slow, 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 and up, slow, 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 and up. Or you can jump the whole time. So 8 to 10, and next week we'll add a little twist. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let your arms do what they do naturally. Some people, I don't know, it's really hard to keep your arms up here because it makes your heart work super hard. But I find arms help with the propulsion. Let's go to the other side and see how you're propelling yourself up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, let your heart rate come down. The jumping is optional. It's helpful. It's good to know that you can propel yourself through space. Not essential for what we're doing. We just want your muscles working a little differently, a little different pace. Because if we do everything at the same pace, if you always walk at the exact same pace, it's going to be really hard to walk and have to change direction or walk and speed up suddenly. So we're trying to remind, if we can, muscles have memory, but they don't need to be confused. How many myths can I come up with in one little sentence? Muscles have memory, they don't need to be confused, but you need to challenge them so that they remember they can do all the things that they used to be able to do. And for at least the ones of us who are on screen, you know, sometimes they don't want to remember what we did 40 years ago. So it's a wake up. Okay, so we are going to start our 6 exercise work cycle, 1 minute at a time. We have about 30 seconds. We're going to start with our single leg deadlift and the row. So setting up, we're going to roll shoulders back, pull those shoulder blades down. Fine, I'm going to start non-dominant. I'm starting on my left leg to balance. And this week, instead of a choice, let's go over and up. So if I go from this side, my heel to my shoulder is moving. Sorry about my balance, like a unit. So let's go for 1 minute on side 1. You're going at your own pace. Oh, I forgot the row. Don't watch me. Do what I say, not what I do. Although sometimes you have to do what I do, not what I say, because I mix things up. You guys are very patient with me. So we're going to hinge over, row, and up. My non-dominant side really wants to be submissive and not do anything this morning. Hopefully you're doing better. We have about 20 seconds left. Then we get to switch. Something that helps is to try to ground your toes, all of your feet and your heel. Now let's switch sides. So going down, row, up. Don't forget the row this time. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. About 20 more seconds. Stay with it. Go your pace. You need to shake out your hips. Shake out your hips. 10 seconds left. and rest. Okay. We're going to grab lighter weights now. Exercise number 2 is surrenders. So we go down. I step back onto one knee, down onto the other knee. As my knee comes up, weights come up, arms come up, down and down. So let's hit it 1 minute here. I'm going to try to remember to alternate sides. Down, down, up and up, down, down, and up. Your knees aren't feeling the floor. It's okay to do the overhead presses. Absolutely fine. You're doing the work. Ooh, a minute of work is a lot of work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Ooh, okay. We're going to come down on the floor and do some seated rows and some side lying. Actually, everything else we're doing is on the floor. Adjust the camera. So grab some tubing or a band, flat band, long band. And hold it a little bit offset. We're going to go 30 seconds on the side, but we're going to row 2, 3, and then take that band where you have more slack and go out to the side. So 3 regular rows, 2, 3, and look over your shoulder with the rotation. 1, 2, 3, and look. Arms are nice and open. And let's switch sides. So give your other arm a little bit more slack. Row 2, 3. Reach and rotate. 3, 2, 1. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. It's not quite the same as using a weight, but you want that movement there. We're still working those muscles. They're still going to get tired with everything we're doing. 3, last set. 1, and reach. Nice. Now we're going to take our loop band and put it above our knees. And we're going to play with this one a little bit too. So you don't want to be slouchy. We want to be up in our shoulders against the wall, knees bent so they're slightly in front of you. We are going to do, we're going to come up into a side bridge or a side plank. Okay, and then clamshell, lift, and lift. As you lift, I want you to think about pulling that foot up. We're going to do 30 seconds on a side because this can be pretty intense. You're going to feel it in that upper hip area. You're going to feel it on the bottom side too. So lift and rotate in. Lift, internal rotation of the hip. Kick that foot up. And let's switch sides. So up into our side plank. Some people call this a side bridge. That's what it was written down as. That's why I got confused. We're going to lift up. And then we're going to lift and rotate in. Lift, rotate in. Lift, kick that foot up to rotate. and rest. Okay, you can keep the band on for doing reverse Nordics. I think it helps keep your glutes turned on as we're working the quads. Never a bad thing to have things working together. So come up on your knees with your toes glued together so your knees are wider than your feet. And then from here, squeeze your butt, hold this straight line, and we're gonna lean back, and come back up. So you're like one of those, I don't know, those toys that kids have where it's weighted on the bottom and it stands up and you can punch it back or punch it forward and it always comes right back up. Remember to breathe. So the working portion is if we're going back, we're making the tops of your thighs do all kinds of work. Squeezing the glutes helps bring you back up to the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I have to take our band off for the next one. So we have our lunging windmills. And if you want a mini break, just want to point out when you're like this, it's easier to rotate up to the side, the leg that's in front. It's much harder to rotate the other way. And you can definitely do this with one knee down. What you might notice is on one side, it's easier or harder to turn away from that front leg. So you can stay here, or we can alternate sides for the last 30 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, sink it back into child's pose. Let your back rest. We have a couple of minutes here. So if you don't want to be in child's pose, find a position that feels good to you. It's about a minute and a half left. Slowly come up. If you want to come up, grab a drink of water, stretch what needs to be stretched, stay on the floor, however you're feeling. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but it gets harder for me to go up and down in elevation, the warmer it is. So 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll go through this one more time, and I think we'll stretch and call it a good day. Minute at a time is a long time to be doing one move. So we still have time. I think the way I'm feeling, this would be 2 minutes. Let's take another 30 and just loosen up the back. And I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit more. In about 25 seconds, We'll set up for our deadlift rows. Heart rate should be down. One more big swig of water. Okay, grab your weights. We've got 1 minute on one leg. If you need to put your foot down, use it as a kickstand so that that standing leg is still doing all the work. So that would look like this and up. You don't want to have your leg floating up behind you anymore, like this. There we go. Nice. 15 seconds. Okay, let's switch sides. So keeping your leg and back as a kickstand is just for balance. You can still do the whole move without worrying about losing your balance, just like this. Halfway through. Feels like forever. Oh, you guys got this. Stay with it. It's hard. It's hard, and you are doing it. Do the best you can. You showed up. That's the win. Stick with me, whatever you can get through. 10 more seconds. If you're done, you're done. Be proud of yourself. 3, 2, and 1. Most important thing is you showed up for this workout and you tried. And second round, second set. If you can't get through the whole minute, it is not the end of the world. The universe is not going to implode. Bad things will not happen to your family and your pets. You showed up, you're getting stronger, and that's all that matters. Okay, so I worked hard. My heart rate's up. I'm grabbing lighter weights. We're going to go right into surrenders in 3, 2, 1. If your body's not feeling like going down, down, up, up on your knees, stick with those overhead presses. Maybe try some reverse lunges. You don't have to come down to the floor. Just keep your body moving. We're halfway through. Sorry about my heavy breathing. I'm not sure how much of this you can hear. And maybe you can't hear me over your own heavy breathing. Up, up, down, down, up, down, up. Remember, after this, we're on the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Ooh. Okay. Let me change my camera again. Down on the floor. Keeping my water bottle close. Okay. Second set of rows. My band is pretty loose. It's got a lot of slack in it. I've had this one forever. If your band is really loose and you want more resistance, double it up and just focus on the row because we've been doing a lot of rowing today. But if you've got the length, let's hit it. 3, 2, one regular row, and then woof, off to the side. 3, 2, 1, off to the other side. Let's alternate, like you're sitting in the middle seat. 3, and putting your arm around whoever is next to you. 3, you can't have your elbow tucked and put your arm around them. You have to open it up. Halfway through. 3, 2, 1. Nice and wide rotation. 3, 2, 1, and go. Beautiful. 3, make sure your body's turning. Head's looking where your head is going. Whoop, where your arm is going, rather. Eyes are looking where your arm is going. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Nice. Let's put the band away. And we'll grab our mini loop band. Whew. And we'll set up for, let's play with this one a little bit. So you can be on your elbow, you can be on your wrist, depending on whatever feels comfortable to you. Coming up into that side plank. And let's do some clamshells for 30 seconds. That's not so bad. We're going to add on 30 seconds. We have 10 more. Ooh, I'm dripping. 3, 2, 1. Lift that foot up and lift. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Slow butt pivot. Give those muscles a little massage. Flipping up to the other side. Hand right under your shoulder or elbow. Clamshells for 30. This side is much more tired. And 30 seconds of the lifts. Stay with me. If you're done, you're done. If you can keep going, go at your own pace. Slow it down. I feel it too. We're in this together. I have 10 more seconds on my clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Let's bring it down. So let's do our little windshield wipers. You're gonna give yourself a hand. Those muscles worked hard. A minute is a lot of work. A lot of work. Good job, you guys. Here we go. Reverse Nordics. So knees apart, toes pressing together, and we're just leaning back, squeezing those glutes to come up. So we're not flexing at all in the hips. We're keeping them open. So what is it? The toy. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Imagine you're like that. You get pushed over and you pop right back up. It's your resilient personality. Circumstances try to get you and you pop right back up. Ooh. Let's go for 10 more seconds. Work, 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 work. Maybe come all the way down a little farther and then up. Whoops, that was hard. I couldn't do that one. I went too far. Okay, let's take the band off. No muss, no fuss. Here we go. Lunging windmills. Alternating sides, going in both directions. So lunge one way, reach up and up, step it back, and reach up and up. You can take your time with this. If this feels super good, hang out there. Oops, but don't forget to go both directions like I just did. There we go. If you want to put your knee down, that's okay. Put your knee down. This is mobility. Up and up, up and up. And come down into child's pose. Excellent work. Stretch it out. Let your back relax. Take some very deep breaths here. Think about expanding your rib cage up to the ceiling, out to the sides of the room. And let it out slow. In through the nose, expand the ribs. Long, slow exhale through the mouth. Helps bring the heart rate down. Helps turn off the body's fight or flight response, which right now, if you're hot, might be to flee right to an open refrigerator door. Hope you have a nice cool drink next to you or nearby. And let's start our stretching seated. So see if you can sit more or less evenly on both cheeks. I have a big gap under one side. Thanks for showing up this morning. If you have to go, you have to go. It's just about 8 o'clock. But we'll keep stretching. So let's reach across, so to your left. Oh yeah, that's the other one. I don't know why, since I got COVID, this is a stretch where I forget what the move is from one side to the other. So thank you. And then let's prop ourselves up on our hands, come back to center, and just do knee drops side to side. And then sitting up tall, let's see what our hips feel like. It's not fair because we've only opened up one side. And let's try bringing both knees down. Nice. It takes a lot of core control. One more time, we're both wiggling forward towards each other. And we'll end up on the other side. And we'll reach across and up and over. Let's do 2 more. Then let's, while we're sitting here, let's stay seated. And let's bring our toes in so you can grab them. You can have your hands outside, you can have your hands inside, doesn't matter. You can just breathe in, and the exhale, straighten your legs forward. Take it as far as you can, get that nice big stretch on the back of your legs and your back. Then inhale your toes back. And exhale forward. And see if you can get them a little straighter. Nice. And up. We're gonna do this one more time after this. See if you can grab a little bit lower on your foot. Pull your toes back. If you're reaching to your shins, that's okay. If you're reaching to your ankles, point is we're working into this. Every time you stretch your legs forward, try to go just a little bit farther. If you're already at your toes, see if you can bring your chest down a little bit lower towards your thighs. Nice. And then let's come into a half straddle. And we're gonna rotate so we're over the straight leg and reach for the outside of that ankle. So you're getting a big stretch all the way down one side of your body. We'll stay here for about 4 or 5 deep breaths. Each time again, try to bring your chest a little bit lower, get your knee a little bit straighter, maybe reach a little further. And then we're going to take that one arm up and back, windmill it back, turn your straight leg foot in and lift up into a side bridge. Look up towards the ceiling. Get a nice stretch on the other side of your body. Different kind of stretch. So we'll stay here for 3 or 4 more breaths. And then bring it down and we'll go to side 2. So rotating over that straight leg. Oh, and reaching forward. Use your breath to relax into this. See how far you can reach. It's okay if your arms don't go very far. If you're getting that stretch in your legs and stretch down your side, ease into it. If things are shaking, back out of that stretch a little bit. We're not working anymore. We're supposed to be just letting things relax. And then let's windmill that arm up and back and come up into that modified side bridge, looking up at the ceiling. And let's come onto hands and knees. And do maybe 3 restorative circles in one direction, taking your hips as far in each direction as you can, getting a nice back stretch out of it. 2, 3. And then we're going to sink back towards child's pose. Bring your hands together and then cross your left arm over your right as you reach forward. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. You're going to feel that a little bit more in your back, between your shoulder blades. So hands are pushing forward, hips are pushing back. And then come up just enough so we can take our hands even again and then cross over the other way. Okay, and from here, let's come on to our backs. And we'll start with our legs up in tabletop. Try to keep your knees and your feet together. And let's twist down to one side. You want to keep your shoulder on the floor. If you can get all the way down to the floor, great. If you can't, use your hand to prop your knees up and give it a little bit of support so you get that stretch. Your knees want to tuck up towards your chest. That's okay. Keeps your back safe. Let your hand help your knees come back up, because remember, this is not the working portion, this is the stretching portion. And let's take your knees down to the other side. Try to keep them together, see if you can keep them stacked. Use your hand for support as you need it. Maybe you can get your knees all the way down. I just got a whole series of pops from one end of my spine to the other. Oh, let's hold it here. And then come to center, put your feet down. Glue your feet together, let your knees drop out to the side. Get a little stretch on the front of your hips through the inner thigh. And then let's cross your left ankle over your right knee. And let's go into that stretch a little bit more. So using your muscles energetically, try to open up your left hip by pushing that knee away. You put your hand on your hip, you can kind of feel things moving in there. Some people get freaked out. I kind of like knowing things are moving in there. So holding that knee away, we'll twist down to the right, creating as much openness as you can. So all the surrenders that we did, the reverse Nordics, our lunging windmills, just let it all go. Come up, slide your left knee over your right, so you're crossing your legs ladylike, and we'll twist down to the left and get a little bit more of the IT band opening on your right hip. It's not really opening, it's stretching. Then come back to center one more time. Hug both legs in, reaching behind your right leg. And twist your hips just a little bit to the right, so you get a nice stretch in those deeper muscles of your left hip. You don't have to go all the way over. Sometimes when you go all the way over, you just relax all those muscles. Or they stop stretching. But listen to it, as long as you're getting stretchier, you're doing it okay. And come back to center, bring your right foot down, take your left leg up, circle out your ankle. Totally unweighted, enjoy that range of motion. Reach up a little higher on your leg, point and flex. Check in with how your ankles are feeling. And enjoy that hamstring stretch. Let's reverse, let's go on the other side. So we're going to take our right ankle over our left knee and butterfly. Oh, how different one side feels to the other, huh? And then energetically pressing that knee to the side, or knee to the front. Take your foot down to the left. Go for that twist. Keep that hip nice and open as opposed to closed. We want it open. And then come on back up. Let's slide your right knee over your left. hug both legs in. Get a nice big stretch on your right hip. And then lean a little bit to your left, see if you can get it to go a little bit deeper. We're going to hold for about 20-30 seconds. Come back to center, put your left foot down, and we're going to twist to the right. So your left hip gets one more stretch across the IT band. The IT band doesn't really stretch as much as we're stretching the muscle it's attached to, which is up in your hips. You stretch that muscle out, you take the tension off the IT band, and legs are much happier. And then come back to center and let's do a hamstring stretch on the right side. So take that leg up, enjoy that stretch, circle out your ankles while you're here. Make sure you go in both directions. See how many pops you can get out of it. And then reach up a little bit higher and we'll point and flex. Let's bring that foot down, take your feet really wide. Let's do a few more windshield wipers. And roll everything over to one side and bring yourself up. And we are dizzy. No, we are done. So good work this morning. Stay cool, and I'll see you next week for our last week of workouts.